And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Were you mocking me, Jessica?
No, not even a little bit.
Okay.
No.
2 times today.
I know, guys, stop calling me by my
TPK
name.
just tonight. Okay. Perfect. Got
Try
in my
it.
notes. Fantastic. Oh, Jesus Christ, Jess. Cruising for a bruising is what they used to say back in my day. So, when we last left our heroes, after defeating the vicious creatures known as the Void Pyres, the party began to investigate, if you will, the 2 now dead bodies. Oksana immediately recognizing the sigil of Ajax, the captain responsible for the mines, firmly implanted on the Void Pyre's chests. Off to the side, Sicarius continued to free some of the prisoners, or at least attempt to. And as upon freeing the captives, our heroes met with the volunteered leader of the prisoners, Layla, only to discover a place known as the Yara system, as seemingly the place that the captives were being taken to. As the party left the Void Pyre's lair, the group collected Grimoire before heading to the Library of Spheres to collect their bounty. Upon speaking to the curator, they learned that Yara was in fact a goddess of the harvest long ago. And with coin in hand, the party headed back to the Happy Beholder for a night's rest. However, the next morning, their rest abruptly ended as the royal guards of the Starhaven Palace burst into the tavern, demanding the party accompany them back to the palace. Making their way to the palace, they were greeted by Prince Andrew and his court proper. And although the welcomes seemed superficial, as the demeanor of the prince was not so welcoming. Under the guise of rewards, Prince Andrew offered the party a safe passage back to the material plane. However, the party had some different ideas in mind. After speaking with one another, they determined that V would be the best person to speak on their behalf. And as Prince Andrew turned once more to the party, all eyes fell on V. And so, our story continues. Prince Andrew, with his hands behind his back, looked towards to the group. Well, have you thought about my offer?
What? You got this.
Okay, put myself together here. Why, yes, Prince Andrew, it feels as though maybe 2 weeks have gone by. It's so weird to pick up where we last left off, but it's only because I was staring into your eyes for so long.
Yes,
which
flattery
are
will get you
magnificent.
everywhere, but perhaps we can expedite this little monologuing you were planning on doing, I assume?
I tend to do that. I take after Basil. So, here's the thing, Prince Andrew. It is true that we came to your lands here unwillingly. When we arrived, the first thing that happened was we were kidnapped by someone named Ajax, who I'm not 100% sure if you're familiar with or not. But either way, we learned when we were captives on his ship that he was taking us somewhere to potentially enslave us and work for him, to dig for something, to mine for something very powerful. We also learned that potentially he is looking to overthrow those that he works with. So we learned that he is a very bad person, very cunning. Luckily, Jed over here saved us. Then we ended up in your magnificent city, and I can tell you've done a fantastic job. Your people love you. And then, as you know, as soon as we got here, we were investigating the Void Pyres, and we discovered that there is most likely a connection between these Void Pyres and Ajax.
Oh my god! You should say it louder for the people in the back.
Thank you, Grimoire. V will
Gives you a thumbs
project. V will project a little bit more, and she'll say, "These void pyres are kidnapping your disciples, your people, your community, and hurting them, and potentially giving them away into the slave labor that Ajax is running. We're not 100% sure how they're connected, but we do know your people suffer. Now, here's the thing. My group here is set out on vengeance. We have started a journey, but in my life, I have learned that vengeance can also be justice for others. So we are asking to hold off on taking us to back home so that we can get our vengeance and we can work for you in your name and help your people keep them safe, because I know your armies are strong and mighty, as I can tell. But the problem is Ajax is a cunning person, and we can move with stealth, whereas your army, he will see them coming from a mile away, metaphorically and physically. So let us capture Ajax for you and put an end to this, for us and for your people, to keep them safe."
That was really good.
Thank you. Wow.
This was very compelling.
Thank you.
As you get a few applauses from some of your companions, looking around the room, you don't see the same level of admiration. In fact, quite a few have shocked look on their faces. So, let me get this straight. From what you're telling me, I'm incapable of protecting my own citizens, my army is completely useless, and you are the ones who are mightier and, mind you, more stealthful than some of the highest trained individuals in all of Brawl. Is that correct? Did I get all that right through that monologuing, which you clearly don't understand instructions very well, which is boasting ever so well for your group right now?
Well, I think you have misinterpreted what I was trying to say, or nay, maybe I misspoke. All I was trying to say was that we would love to be able to serve you and do all the people here good justice.
The prince turns his back to you and begins to walk to the center of the room silently. The entire court eyes directly on him. No one dared speaking a word at this point. My dearest captain, as he turns to Mahazara, please escort the court out of the room. A few murmurs all around as a few bow and begin to make their way outside of the room. The prince remains silent in the center of the room, back still turned to you, waiting for all of the other members to leave. As the door closes behind the last, the only ones left in the room are yourselves, the prince, the captain, and a number of guards. You propose an interesting offer. Albeit in front of my court, I should kill you on the spot. But you have my intrigue. I worry not for the net members of my city. They are well taken care of in their own right, and they can take care of themselves if need be. Point has been proven through generations. However, you offer me something. That is intriguing to me. So removing all of this nonsense of rights and duties and taking care of the kingdom, I will give you one last chance. We are free and clear of the politicking. So let us get down to the brass tacks, as they say. What are you offering?
Well, I suppose we are offering to retrieve Ajax, bring him back here to answer for however you deal with crimes here. And also, I suppose, whatever he's after, if we are there, we will bring it back with us.
You're not the wisest one, are you, V?
No.
That's not very nice.
Do you think I care about some ruffian out in the void of the astral planes?
I suppose not. What do you care about?
Well, what does any prince want? Love, admiration, power. Can you offer any of these things?
What kind of love? Everybody!
At this point, Jed speaks up.
Thank God for Jed.
I think what she's trying to say, Prince Andrew, we are a small group of specialists. We're known, well, as you know in my past history, I'm known for retrieving things of value. Now, we can spin all around and dance all around it. But all this talk of love, admiration, respect, you and I know this is all bullshit. I know what you want is power. Prince Andrew looks Jed up and down. Ever so bold, Jed. Perhaps I will rephrase to your companions. Is there something tangible that you can offer me? What do I get out of this?
I suppose.
I'm literally. She's looking around.
I suppose you would get out of this exactly what Ajax is seeking, which apparently could have unlimited power.
Now that is something I am more interested in. You should really learn how to talk to the higher-ups, V, if you're looking to expand your station in life rather than, well, a commoner. So I am happy to make a deal if that's the case. Either way, you leave the Rock of Brawl and are out of my hair one way or another. You get me. Whatever it is Ajax is looking for out there. And I get what I want. It sounds like a fantastic deal to me, is it not?
That's what I was saying. I'm glad we are seeing eye to eye.
Very, very good. Now, there's one issue that we do have, V, and perhaps that's something that you can assist me with. If I'm to let you live outside these palace walls, there's no guarantee that you'll ever return, is there?
I suppose not.
No, that's right. So, what is something that would give me that level of confidence in you?
I don't own a lot of things. As you mentioned, I am a commoner. Can I talk with my group and see if maybe there is something together we could offer?
By all means, if you can find something, I have a few things in mind. That would be a good idea, but by all means, take a moment, speak to your companions. Let me know.
What do you have in mind? Let's skip all the pitter-patter.
Well, see, what is one thing that you could not just live without? I'm sure there's quite a few things that you can think of. Perhaps they're on your person, perhaps they're not. I was thinking something a little bit more, though. Guards, apprehend the woman, please. In a blink of an eye, guards now swarming around you push towards V.
Oh, God.
Whoa, what is
What
happening?
is
What
this?
is happening?
It is everyone's best idea to stand back from this.
I
Where are
don't
you
like
taking
this.
I'm not taking her
Yes.
anywhere.
Asshole instead.
Okay.
Best that you all just stand back. I promise I will not harm a hair on her head.
I'm really worried about you harming her, if I'm being honest.
Well, then good. The guards wrapping their arms around V's, pulling her forward in front of the prince. You feel two heavy hands now pushing downward on your shoulders, V. You try and resist for a moment, but find yourself on your knees in front of the prince. Walking over to you, he takes your chin in his hands and lifts it up slightly.
I'm gonna kill you.
Such a beautiful face. Such a beautiful smile. And what wonderful eyes. He puts his hand on top of your forehead. And you watch as a small light begins to glow and emanate from the palm of his hand.
Don't like this.
V, you watch as this light grows brighter and then dimmer, turning gray before everything turns to black. The rest of you watch as the prince holds a ball of blue light in his hand.
Did he take your brain?
What?
Pretty sure he's going for eyesight. Brain.
Your memories or something. That's what I
How would she know, Jess? Why are you asking her? That has been like...
I didn't
You
mean to say it out
stopped to
loud.
ask her
Sorry.
that. Dear Lord.
Sorry, I was just captivated. and
That's
I had
okay,
questions.
Jess. It's okay. It's okay. I promise we'll get there. Just hold on to your horses there, young lady.
Okay.
As he holds the light, the blue light in his hand, he smirks. I guess no longer needed the term of a sight for sore eyes. Now, this should give you some incentive to return with my prize.
You've made it considerably more difficult.
I was going to say.
Well, from what I can tell so far, your gift is in your tongue, not in your eyes. For you clearly do not see what is in front of you.
This guy really needs to watch his phrasing.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. Yes.
Well then, if there's nothing else, I believe you have something to do. Now, don't
How
you?
do I know that you can give that back to me?
You don't. But here we are.
Well, hold on. Can I interrupt? I have a question. You want us no, it's a serious one.
I'm not it's going to be a really good question.
You want us to go from plane to plane, yes? We can't assume Ajax will be going on different planes, yes?
I don't care where you go. You've offered me
Well,
something. I've taken something just
Yes.
for safekeeping.
And I'm trying to get it for you, but we cannot cross between planes right now. I'm wondering if you have anything that can help us do it.
I do.
Can we use it?
Perhaps when you return.
But we need it to go.
I don't think we
That's
do,
nothing to do.
Oksana.
And
Oh.
why is that?
Ajax is in this
Oh.
plane. This one. Here.
Are we sure
Ah.
he's in this plane? Because I know he
Yes.
can go from other planes. Yes? Okay. I thought it was a good question.
Jed speaks up at this point in time and says, Oxy, I think you're thinking of the boat part this time.
I don't know. I will just stop talking.
I mean, you're doing great, kiddo. It's all right.
Thank you, Jed.
How many guards are in here?
By your count,
question.
oh wait.
Before V lost her eyesight, how many guards were in there?
There was roughly about 20 guards, not including
Oh,
the
we can
captain.
take them.
Yeah, right.
Like a weird bat rabbit thing. We got this.
Also, by the way, thank you so much for the raid, guys. We're just kind of in the middle of something right now, but see you, love you, thank you, blah, blah.
So it appears we must get a move on so we can get your eyesight back.
I agree. This should be interesting. Prince Andrew, do you have a fancy cane or something that I can use? How am I supposed to do anything? How am I
I
supposed to
actually
move
had
around?
I had a thought for that. Hold on.
Fantastic.
He takes out some rope and he ties it around his waist and hands the other side of the rope to be.
What?
There you go.
What is
It
this?
just leads you where you go. It's fine.
At your leash.
Go away. It's being cold.
Is this rope tied to you?
Yes,
That's
you are
not
on leash
important.
now.
Well, I grow tired and weary of whatever this is. So, I will hold on to this for you. And I guess we'll see you when you return. If you return.
Oh, you will. You will.
All right,
Well,
bye.
you wouldn't know because you can't see if he's seeing you, right? Yes.
All right, Oksana.
Prince Andrew then turns and begins to leave the room through the opposite direction that everyone else did. The captain gives a little bit of an eye towards all of you before turning and quickly following behind Prince Andrew. A number of the guards also leave behind, leaving about roughly half of what was in there prior.
Can we go finish eating now?
When you said she gave us an eye, like, was it like mean or kind of like intrigued? What was kind of the vibe? Like the look the guard captain gave us.
More of a cautionary defensive of the prince.
Ugh.
Like she wants
Turn her
to throw
against
down.
him.
She wants to throw down, but she can't right now.
It was more a look of pity.
Okay. It's good. All right.
Not.
Pity's good. Pity's
Okay. Well, you got to start somewhere, I guess.
Good. All right. So where should we go from here? Back to the ship, right?
We need to gather information about Ajax.
Like,
Marcus, maybe. Why don't we take him? Oh wait, I forgot. Never mind, Jed. We won't do anything to Marcus.
Yes, Jed. You everyone is gone now, right? Except for us.
like 10 guards.
I guess is everyone gone? Since I can't fucking see anything.
Why don't we excuse ourselves from this place?
It might be a good idea.
We should get
All
outside.
As you all
Start
turn
heading
and
towards
begin to
door.
make your way out of the palace rooms, you find yourself back onto the streets of the Rock of Brawl, just outside of the palace proper. Well, I mean, first off, I guess, are you all right, V? I mean, aside from the not being able to see thing.
I suppose it's just another thing for me to overcome, right?
I mean, that's some good spirits, I guess.
I'm
Burn
glad
it
you
down.
see it that way. Oh, I intend on killing him when we come back. I just want you all to know that.
I mean, hey,
I'm okay with this.
that's your prerogative, V. If you want to go ahead and take a chance at that, then by all means. But that's not going to get you home.
That is true, but I'm hoping we can find a way home without him. Didn't we have a way without him before? I thought we had that, what is it called?
The thing that makes the clicking sound? We don't
The
have. We
clicking.
have that one, but that is not to help us plane walk. We don't know what that's for.
Some strange
for-
thing that the
He has a saffron. That's what we
The
need.
saffron. That's what it is. Oh, he has the saffron.
He has
Oh.
it, yes. But is he the only one that can use it?
I never said he could use it. I was just saying he has it. I'm not
Is
sure he
there
knows how it works.
only one? It seems very convenient. Does not make much sense why only one exists of such thing.
Well, an artifact of that power, being able to act as a guide and a doorway and the key for astral planes or astral travel, that's I mean, it's not as common as you'd think. There may be
But we
more,
can-
but I don't know where to start, how to find them. And there's a big astral sea out there, Oksana.
Do you know where we can find Ajax?
Well, I mean,
We-
based on our last conversation, I did get you the map of the Yara system.
it's been feels like 2 weeks for some reason.
Right.
Cigars, that thing that you had in your pocket there.
Yes, you said it looked like stars.
Yeah, I don't quite know what to make out of that, but we should.
Well, why don't we take a closer look once we're on the ship, and that way we don't have to worry about people prying their eyes on us.
That was going to be my suggestion. Exactly.
All right.
Great minds, sir.
Let's not
He's-
discuss what we're
he's
going to
gonna
do
s-
because we don't
He's
know.
gonna sit and scratch the back of his ear with his peg like a dog.
We don't know who is actually watching us right now.
A great point, also. Let's head back to the ship.
All right.
Come on, V.
There's plenty of food on the ship, Oxiana, so you don't have to worry about that.
I mean,
Fine.
Jock's there. We can go ahead and, have him cook something up for us.
Oh yes, Jacques, I forgot.
Eh.
Magnific.
Greenmore, you got V there.
Yeah,
Follow the
I
I
tugs
do
of the
not
rope.
like this.
she's my buddy. Pat her leg.
All right.
Oh no.
You begin the trek back to the ship. It takes you some time, especially now with V in her condition. Roughly about half an hour from the palace proper to the docks. However, you make your way back there, unscathed, unwatched, it seems. And as you board onto the ship, Jed turns to all of you. I know it's not the most ideal outcome that we're facing here, but we did leave with our lives. We do live to fight another day.
Jared, I have a question for you.
What's that?
Do you think the person that paid you to secure one of us, who must care a little bit about us, would help us?
Well, truth be told, as I had said earlier, I'm not too familiar with who the individual was. And to be honest, it was, from what I've gathered so far, the trip wasn't for you. So, would they care about you? I'm going to assume not.
Alright, shot in the dark done then.
Can you make them?
Can I make
Can
them
you
what?
entice? Care about us? Can you entice them to us?
I mean, I can try. Depends on how much time y'all have.
I don't know. Or we can just go look for Ajax. I would like to take him out anyway.
Yes, you can't really force people to care about you, Oksana, no matter how hard
Oh,
you try.
I am saying maybe he can say that we have some kind of appeal. I don't know.
We are pretty charming.
Oh, I think so.
But I assume he'll look over at Beef. I assume we want to get Ajax as soon as possible, probably.
Mm-hmm. But when we first met, you did mention that you had at least contacts on possibly getting us back to the material plane. Was the prince the one you were referring to?
He was one of the options, yeah.
I was kind of hoping you were referring to somebody else.
I mean, there are a few more that we could potentially go talk to about all this, but my concern now is not so much just getting y'all home. There's no way we can possibly get V's eyesight back. So we can go ahead and leave if you want.
No, we need to get her eyesight back.
That's what I figured.
Is it possible on the way to the Yara system to swing by your friend Gary and bring him along?
I mean, I can put the word out for him.
We might need his help.
Understandably. I'll see what I can do. There's not one particular place that Gary usually stays at. But I don't mind sending word.
I think that would be great appreciated.
This Yara system, it's quite big, no?
Personally, I've never been there before, but if I'm looking at this map right, this is one of the larger dead bodies of gods that I ever seen before.
Carius reaches in his pocket. Hey, Grimoire, now that we got some more time, do your little clicking thing on this and see what happens.
It's really everybody.
Yes. We're right here on the boat, are we not?
Oh, shit, yeah.
I'm
Alright.
That high perception, you must get it checked.
I'm better here than psych. Alright. It'll do like a little trilling sound into stone. Just typical echolocation pitch.
Okay. Make a persuasion check for me.
I feel like I have to be a good player right now and just And
Oh,
then I
right.
do have a dark heart.
You do have a dark heart. It seems
Good
that
catch.
the
Thanks.
blinding of V
Buck goose.
has thrown you off. A little far off your game.
Seems that way. It's a 2 and a 5 for a total of 3.
You make the
Wait. Oh.
This is low.
you
Sorry.
make the clicking noise once again. Waiting with bated breath, everyone stares down at the stone. But the rumbling doesn't happen this time.
I must have done it wrong.
Well, you've got it to work once. I'm sure you can do it again. Just keep trying.
All right. And I guess while we're traveling
Yeah, by all means.
through the Aura system, he will occasionally just, as he's snacking, like has a stone in the other hand, he'll just keep trying
Sure.
to get it to go.
All right. Was there anything
He
else?
will. Oh, sorry. He's gonna take her sword out and use it as a cane, and try and walk herself towards like the edge of the boat.
Okay. As you begin to kind of pointing out in front of you, trying to find your steps with the sword, you do so with relative accuracy. Albeit once you hit the rails, you seem to collide into them.
I will stop and I'll just sort of how high is it? Can I lean on it or sit on it?
The railing?
Yeah.
The railing only goes roughly up to about waist height. It is a relatively
I'll just-
thin railing.
Oh.
Please don't fall overboard.
I'll just lean up against it. That's all.
Okay. Jed looks to you all. Should we, as they say, get this party started then?
It appears we have no choice.
Is there anything
Sail
any
for
of
adventure.
you? Is there anything y'all need before we leave?
Well, we should get healing potions.
Yes, I just realized I won't be able to heal anyone. I am incapable of healing anyone because I cannot see anything.
We should get many healing potions.
Yes. I also don't know how. I'm just thinking about all of my spells. I'm not sure how effective I will be in battle at all.
It's fine. You are useless to us now. We know. We will get your eyesight back. This is no problem.
Fantastic.
Now, Oksana,
Yes.
just because somebody's a little impaired doesn't make them useless. You know,
Yeah.
And he'll smack his peg leg twice. Give her kind of a disappointed look.
She said herself she can't see, so she can't cast spells. It's all I mean.
We'll talk about it later.
We don't man.
All right, for the sake of expediency, I will say that a few of you head back down to the market that you were at earlier, and you're able to only find 2 healing potions. It roughly costs you 10 gold pieces.
Okay, I don't know how much gold I have because we divided the 50
That was-
by
That was 8 and
7?
change if everybody.
Yeah.
8 and change. Okay.
So who's going with Oksana to the market?
Why don't I will not go, but I suggest that Basil pays. He has quite a lot of money. Basil will pay, I'm sure.
You okay with that, Basil?
Basil
absolutely.
doesn't seem to be. He seems to have gone below deck.
Oh, come on.
Well, I mean, after a night of, spending all that time researching in the library, he didn't, sadly, he didn't get the long rest that all of you did.
Right.
Oh.
All right. Here, have some
Boy, we
have
got-
some of my gold, Oksana.
Grimar, go pick his pocket.
Oh, God.
It's no problem. I will pay.
You have 10 gold.
I have 18 gold. Now,
Wow.
I think so. Grimor, help me count. I don't know what they all mean.
You had 18, and now you have 8,
Yes.
which is how much
Okay.
I have.
Okay. All right, well,
We'll play it, field you and me.
this seems to work out.
Perfect.
Can someone please come with me
Who
to the
should have
market, though?
I'll
It
go
stresses
with you.
me out. Okay.
I'll go with you. But who should we give the healing potions to?
Well, who dies the most?
I think
We'll
one.
eventually hand out the healing potions to both Tristan and Zacharias.
Well, with the disbursement of the healing potions, I'll raise a glass to all of my friends here and all of you at home. Cheers. All right. With that said, without any further ado, the sails are pulled taut once more. Ropes pulled from the side of the dock. And you begin to feel yourself slowly drift away. The boat slowly spins in spots before beginning its voyage to the Yara system. You watch as the Rock of Brawl, in all its cruelty, mystery, simply fades from view. As much as the void is empty and dark, you find a certain level of comfort there, no longer having to worry about watching your backs at all times. Moving forward, Jed leaves the position of navigator for a moment, seemingly set more or less on autopilot at this point. If, Greenmore, if you could maybe gather everyone, I think there's high time that we had a bit of a chat. I think there's some answers that are owed to y'all.
Yeah, you got it. Go and go gather everyone.
A few moments later,
Come
you
on,
find...
guys.
A few minutes later, you find yourself standing on the deck with Jed. Y'all had some questions for me, whether it was at the tavern, whether it was at Prince Andrew's court. I feel, well, given the circumstances, that there are some answers that are needed. I don't think there's any surprise when I say this, but yeah, Marcus, Ajax, and I were pretty close at one point in time. You see, years and years ago when I was a much, much younger man, had a lot of excitement and passion in my life, I joined up with the Githyanki army. I guess you could call it that. I was put on a squad Another one of the privates was Marcus, and we were led by Lieutenant Ajax at the time. We fought against an enemy that, by all means, should have taken us out. Their history with the Githyanki, well, nothing less than slavery. I'm not sure if they exist where you're from, but round here we call them Mountain Flayers. We fought long and hard against them. And we lost a lot of people. At one point, my team, Ajax's team, we were ambushed. A few of us taken prisoner. Ajax and Marcus being one of them, two of them. A lot of the other crew decided that they would just leave. That what's lost is gone, and why bother looking forward to it? But these were my friends. These are people who had stood by me, shed blood with me. So I wouldn't let that happen. Myself and a small group, we tracked down the ship that took them. Found them in a place that was dark and cold. I don't know what it was. We didn't have a hope in hell. But we went in there, man. We were on our A game. You know what I mean? A few more people died that day, but we eventually made it to the prisoners. We got them out. But there was something different about them. They just weren't the same. I always gave credence to the fact that being a POW, I mean, that's got to change you in ways that I can't even imagine. But their ferocity, they're just raw rage. It came out immediately, man. I'll never forget the moment where Lieutenant Ajax, Captain Ajax, whatever the hell you want to call him, he went after their leader, the one that had taken them in the first place. I chased after. Marcus was close behind me. We lost him for a little while, but when we happened upon them, there's blood everywhere. Just silver ichor spread across the walls. All over Ajax as he stood over top of his captor. Seems he had found a fish hook or something. Blood just dripping off the tip. But what bothered me the most was the smile on his face. Watching him lick his lips. I didn't understand it. It was something that I'd never seen before. Again, I just thought it was the moment of combat, being freed for the first time in weeks. So when, Oksana, you asked me if I'd ever seen that symbol before, never seen the symbol, but I do think that I saw the birth of it. Whatever happened to them down there, whatever they did to them down there, I don't know. Not long after that, I packed it in for good. I realized what war can do to people. On both sides. I didn't want to fight anymore. Just wanted to sail. My people came looking for me, charging me for desertion, treason. But then Prince Andrew's father spoke on my behalf. Fought for me to have my freedom. Prince Andrew wanted nothing to do with it, thought it was a moment of weakness that his father had. I don't know if it was or it wasn't at this point. I do want to say, though, I'm sorry. I don't know how or why y'all got caught up in all of this. Maybe it was destiny. Maybe it was fate. Maybe it was my fault. I will get you to where you need to go. We will get V's eyesight back. And if that means that Ajax and Marcus have to go down, it makes me wonder if they're even still there anymore. Whether they're still in the pits of that dark, cold place.
Jed, do you think something happened to them specific? Some kind of mind control?
Could be.
Well, then we must free them.
When it comes to the mind flayers, it works a little bit differently, darling. I don't know if it was necessarily their doing or something darker. From what I'm hearing, it's could have been something from the darkness itself that got to him first.
Well, Jed, I think we can all agree that no harm will come to Marcus or Ajax unless we are sure that there is no coming back for them. Yes?
And she'll look around at everybody.
I agree. If we can help it.
Sicarius?
We shall see.
Oh, boy.
I appreciate your kind words, Oksana, but like I said, I'm not too far off the position of Sicarius right now. A rabid dog's got to get put down, no matter how much you love it.
Well, if it comes to that, then that is what we will do. Who is
Grimoire will hug Jed, by the way. Like, squeeze.
I appreciate that, little guy.
who is Prince Andrew's father and what became of him?
King Cortez is who you're speaking of.
He is still alive?
God rest him, he's not.
What happened?
I have no proof, nor is it any of my business per se, but I find it questionable that a man who is as competent and as strong as he was, also young, mind you, is to mysteriously die in his sleep.
Why has no one been named king in his stead?
Yes, well, as Andrew still goes by Prince.
Don't know. Perhaps there's a waiting period. Hasn't had his coronation just yet. Your guess is as good as mine.
So this has happened recently.
Not too long ago.
Say He's a fresh prince.
Guess you could say he's a
my-
fresh prince.
You deserve a slap for that one.
I do. I'm so sorry.
I know y'all probably have more questions than you do answers at this point, but and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm an open book to y'all now. Consider this kimono wide open, baby.
I have a question. How do you kill a mind flayer?
With a lot of hacking and slashing, my friend.
So the same way you kill all the other things. Okay.
Wooden stake through the heart.
How many can we expect?
How many what?
Mind flayers.
Don't even know if they're going to be there. That war
Well-
ended a long time ago.
How many followers do you believe Ajax still has that are loyal to him?
As far as I know, well, clearly Marcus is one of them. If he's paying for it, then, well, mercenaries come for a dime a dozen around here. I don't know how long he's been running these mines for. And I'm not sure where he's getting his capital from. Although I have a pretty good idea at this point.
I mean, the suspicion is he's being funded by the prince. I mean, why else would somebody get so mad at us doing a favor for the city?
Well, I mean, I don't think he was necessarily getting mad at y'all for helping the city as much as you were trifling in his business.
Same thing.
What do you think they are after? The god's blood, both of them?
I mean, if what y'all said was true, and the god blood has the ability to potentially turn someone into a god, or bring a god back, that's a whole lot of power, man.
Yes, which brings me to the thought. What are we going to do about this? Because as much as I want my eyesight back, I'm not sure what's going to happen if we give this, let's say we even get it, and give it to Prince Andrew.
Be well over here.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I guess it'll depend on what it looks like. Maybe we can switch it on him.
I mean, there's a chance. No one's ever actually seen this god blood before. They have, then someone would have known about it.
I mean, we could have even tried with your blood that Tristan has.
That's true.
Well,
But
why
it's a little late
doesn't...
for
If we find it, one of us becomes a god and then kills the prince.
I would like that very much.
No argument.
Maybe
with
I
not.
will do it.
that. We all fight amongst each other for it.
End of the campaign.
Yeah.
We end 10 episodes in, just a TPK based on PvP.
Yeah.
Vote now on who you think should be a god.
Bad guy. Put a potion of godhood right in front of us all.
Crimson, don't start that poll, please.
That is one thing we could do. Or we can just maybe lure him out into some kind of trap and then take him out.
I also like that idea. But first I want my eyesight back. Because
Well,
it seems
first we-
like...
First, we have to find it. We have to find the blood first.
I know. There's a lot of things that need to happen. I'm sorry, I'm a little antsy.
No, you have every right to be. I'm just sorry we could only stand there and watch.
I'm used to it. It's fine.
It is not a
Okay.
feeling that I like to experience. So we will get your eyesight back one way or another.
It's nice of you to say. Thank you. Tell us, what's the problem, Grimaud? What's the problem?
No, I said we promise.
Oh, you promise. Oh. Thank you.
We kind of volunteered you to be in that position, so that was not a very good trade on your part. I apologize.
Yes, you didn't take too kindly to any of my anything, really.
I, for once, thought it was a great speech.
I thought so too.
I thought so too.
He's a snotty little shit. We'll get him later.
Yes.
Well, if there's nothing else at this point, I'll get back to steering. But V, if I could have a word with you for a second, and he walks over to you and loops his arm around yours.
Sure. Got nothing better to do anyways.
Don't worry, I'll steal the ship.
So-
Skitters over to the wheel,
Oh,
and
no,
just
no.
go like this.
Yeah, it's. I'll. Grimoire asks.
Figure out the stone
You
first,
begin to
huh?
turn the giant wheel kind of back and forth. You feel
I don't know
this.
why I did this, by the way.
It's okay.
More
Yeah,
one
no,
of
it's
these.
okay. It's okay. You can do it either way. You feel this empowerment overcome you. A feeling that perhaps one day you yourself could be a captain. It fills you with inspiration. You, my friend, have been
Wow.
inspired. As Jed leads V over to the side of the railing,
Sorry, guys, it's a train.
We having a hype train?
no.
Our mics pick up everything now, sorry. I can't stop it.
V, I know it's a bit of a rough patch for you right now. I know things are worse for wear is probably taking it a little bit lightly. And I know it doesn't come easy for you to trust people. But I think you got some good people here. Whether or not you said the right things or not, these people looked up to you enough, put enough reliance in you to be the one to speak for them. That tells me anything. It means they got your back. We'll get your eyesight back. And you can look on all of them again. Hopefully this time as friends. Companions.
Friends is... I'll work on it. Right now I'm dealing with having to trust people. I don't like being reliant on other people. It is difficult for me.
I can understand
I
that.
feel weak, and I don't like that. I feel vulnerable.
I can relate. It's hard putting your trust in other people. But whether you trust them or not, that's just a choice in your own mind. It's got nothing to do with them, from what I can see so far. I know good people. I know good warriors, and I know good soldiers. They got some work ahead of them. Need a little bit more polishing.
Oksana, look, I am the captain now.
Hey, well done. And she'll like stand beside him and like watch what he's doing over his shoulder.
Like I said, they got some work.
Yes.
But if anything happens, you ever feel you need someone, you call. I'll be right there for you.
That is nice of you, Jed.
Least I can do.
Thank you.
Hey, pork, come and see this. She'll summon the little, I forget what it's called.
Waffle thump?
Thumper.
Waffle
Waffle.
thumper.
Waffle thump.
Waffle thump?
Waffle doll. Okay.
Jed takes V by the arm and leads her back to the proximity of the group, leaving her...
Oh, wait! I would like to try something. I would like to try and imagine a fancy cane into existence.
Closing your eyes, you focus for but a few short moments before what you believe to be a very fancy cane appears in front of you. To the rest of you, she's just holding a stick.
You will stand proud.
He leaves your arm in Sicarius's as he walks back over to Grimoire, standing beside him and looking down.
Yeah. Good sailing today. I'll let you get back to work.
No.
He's
By
gonna
all
pull out
means-
the little stone and go sit in a corner somewhere with it.
By all means, Grimoire, you're doing great so far. Just keep us pointed in that direction.
I really think so. Well, he seems a little more like on edge now that he knows he's being watched by someone who knows what they're doing.
You just keep doing what you think is best there, Captain Grimoire.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Captain Grimoire, I like that.
You have to earn that title. Like, I don't think other captains like it when you throw that around.
I don't know, he just called you the captain, so I think you are a captain. Yes?
Just being
Is
nice.
that not how that works? Oh.
It just keeps like meekly steering the wheel now. He's not as like into it as he was.
Well, I
the-
mean, there
which
is
part of
one
you wanna
thing
go to?
that we can potentially do for you. He reaches behind his back into the inside of his coat and pulls out a small flask. Hear ye, all ye who are in session or something. By the powers
happening?
invested in me, as determined captain brought on by the Rock of Brawl, King Cortez, I hereby promote First Mate Grimoire to junior captain.
Wow.
No, I was the first mate. That was-
Congratulations, Grimoire.
Yes, fantastic.
Well done, little man.
I don't drink, thank you.
Well, I can drink for you then, not to worry. And he takes a large swig of his flask before passing it around to everyone.
So V, is Grimoire your boss now?
Yes, quite a feat, Grimoire. Congratulations. So fantastic. I'm so happy for you.
We'll give the guy a
Thank
little
you.
break.
Give him a break. I'm congratulating him, Sicarius.
With such
Also,
joy
I
in your
can't
voice.
see anything. I think if anyone deserves a break, it should be me.
We're not arguing that point.
It was a beautiful moment while it lasted. Just keeps.
All right.
Is there any place in the boat you would like to go?
Oh, me, right. I can't see. Yes, I would like to go to bed now. I am done with today.
Sicarius will escort you to your room, so you know which one it is.
What time is it, by the way? Is it really night?
I don't know. We can't tell.
There's no cycle.
No, it's
How do you feel?
you're about midday at this point in time, and it's probably
Oh.
going to take roughly another 2 or 3 hours before you reach the Yara system.
So what we can do is count the steps around the boat so you know approximately where you'll be at each time. Give you some practice walking around without running and falling over the side.
Sounds incredibly dull. All right.
Do you have something better to do?
No, I was going to go sulk, but I suppose doing something about it is better. All right.
Focus your mind. You should do fine.
Focus my mind. Okay, Pavo.
Who is this Pavo you talk about?
I don't know. Someone I thought I knew is gone like an instant. But, all right, let's start with the top of the deck. That's my favorite place.
All right. 1.
I'm gonna say, how long are you gonna let them play this out?
Yeah, we're gonna stop there.
2.
You continue to walk around the ship for a few hours. Oksana, you find your way down to the kitchen to see Jacques once more, who makes you a proper meal. Grimoire, you continue to keep steering the ship under the watchful eye of Jed, as Basil remains down in the quarters reading. Tristan, what would you like to do for the next 2 to 3 hours?
Probably go and ask Jed for a book or something to read, just to pass the time.
Okay. He hands you a book of not anything too interesting. It's more or less the rules and rites of passage along the astral plane.
Cool.
You go downstairs, sitting with Basil, who seems to be nodding off at this point in time. Sitting on the bed, you continue to read through the book, occasionally looking up to Basil, seeing him now completely nod off. Your eyes return back down to the page. However, they begin to become blurry. The letters seem scrambled at first before disappearing altogether, as a vision begins to flash before your eyes. And that's where we're going to take a short rest for the evening.
Ah, boo!
Fuck.
With that said, guys, thank you so much for the hype train. Thank you so much for all the follows, and welcome to all the new trippers all around. As always, we'll take a few questions on our chat period about the cast, myself, the story, life, the universe, or anything inside of it. We will do our absolute best. But until that time, guys, go out and get yourself a nice bevy, if you will. Perhaps an orange juice, an apple juice, even a captain's juice, just for tonight. And give us a few short moments, and we will be back very shortly. See you soon, guys.
Bye.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We did have a couple questions come up during the break, so we'll whip through those relatively quickly. First and foremost, Sicarius, the group has been through an ordeal thus far. Who seems the most trustworthy to you, and why?
So far, right now, still it's Tristan, just because how we met and knowing a little bit of his backstory, he can relate to it, and so he has a bigger bond with him than he does anybody else as of right now.
Okay. Tristan, you've managed to stay quiet for a bit. Do you think you are ready to break out of your shell yet?
Yeah, slowly. Probably like with a couple of persons in the group. Some other people still, still have
So
to
me.
play the cards.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's me, but we don't need to say it.
What do you mean? We're not besties?
Did you threaten them?
Jesus.
Otherwise, we'll have a problem. Okay, fine.
Oh, well, maybe don't threaten her and we'd be fine.
Okay. All right, let's roll this thing along. V, if you knew ahead of time what the prince was going to do to you, would you still have bent the knee?
I mean, I'd like to say no, but she was sort of in a situation where there wasn't much she could do. Like, she values her life over her eyesight because she can leave and get it back later.
Fair
So
enough.
there was a lot of guards around and stuff, right? So
Very
She
true.
didn't have a lot of options.
True. Oksana, you go to a tavern. What is your preferred drink?
Oh, Oksana's an ale girl.
An ale girl?
Lots and lots of ale. Yeah.
Okay. Good choice. Grimoire, are you still planning to steal the music box from poor blinded V?
I mean, I don't want to give that info away. You know what? Take your bets. See what you guys think. I'll do.
Question for
care.
Tristan. If one of the group is dying in front of them, would you give them the health potion or the coins?
Great question.
Depends on who.
Great answer. Great answer. Question to Dave. Why is Basil so quiet today? I don't know. He just doesn't have much to say today. He's just kind of hanging out. V, can you still play the triangle blind?
Yep.
You gotta close your eyes.
Hold on.
Okay.
Perfectly.
Which leads into the last question, which is perfect question for me. Which redeem, if any, would you accept for us to give V a sword cane? Well, last time I gave V something, she immediately went out and bought it from Amazon. So I am a little worried that if I give her anything, she's just gonna go get them from Amazon, and I don't think I want a sword cane in the house just yet. So with that said, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump back into tonight's episode. Let me pull up my notes here. Tristan, as the darkness overcomes your eyes, it is but a brief moment before the vision returns. The smell, all of a sudden, has changed to a very fragrant incense, very pleasing to the senses. Looking around, you see a number of braziers, all alit. From what you can see, you're in a large, almost throne room. A number of beautiful tapestries filled with colors that you've never actually seen in a tapestry before, depicting beautiful murals on either side of the room. You begin to walk forward towards the throne, and as you do, looking up, you see an individual sitting cautiously to the side, one leg draped over the armrests. In his hand, you see a large chalice that he swirls around. The figure itself, you see a very deep red skin, two small horns protruding directly out the front of his forehead, with larger ones coming out the back, curling around. He wears a majestic robe, to say the least, with beautiful reds and darker velvets. A large V that comes down the center, reaching almost down to the groin. What looks to be as thin as silk, as shimmering as gold. A small goatee comes to a point off of its chin. So you are the legendary Tristan I've heard so much about.
Oh, I suppose I am.
I've heard many things about you from a colleague of mine, to say the least. I believe you call him Master.
Oh. Yes. We've met a couple of times.
I must say your work speaks for itself. You've sent quite a few my way. For that, I am thankful.
We all have a job to do. I take pride in mine.
It appears so. And, of course, if you ever make your way to where we are now, you would be welcomed with open arms. For a time.
Where are we now?
Oh, you'll find
Nothing.
out one day.
Oh.
But I would be remiss to not reward your efforts the best that I could. Those bandages, how do you feel about them?
Well, they've been with me for a little while now. I'm getting used to them.
Yes, I'm sure you feel almost as they bind you.
Somehow. Yes.
I understand. Perhaps we could have it so that it'll work in your favor.
That would be nice.
I guess they say once the captive, now the captor. I grant you for a short time control over your prison. Use it wisely.
Thank you.
Well, go ahead.
And
Try them out. Think of what you wish, and they will act on your word. Perhaps you would enjoy a sip of this.
I will extend my arm and try to throw the bandage in the direction of the caddis to catch it.
As you do, the bandages whip off from your body as they reach forward, grabbing onto the chalice, slowly bringing it over to your hand.
I look at it, kind of impressed and amazed, and take a sip. And then send the caddis back to the person in front of me.
As the chalice returns to the entity now sitting in front of you. Very good. You are a natural at this. But I warn you once more, this boon of mine will only last for a time being.
Of course. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Tristan. And here's to hoping that we don't see each other soon. As he raises the glass one last time, the vision around your eyes now become blurry once more. For a moment, it goes black, as smoke seems to cover your eyes. Giving a few blinks, you find yourself back on Jed's ship. Until the next change of fate is redeemed, your bandages are now considered sentient weapons. You can now use the spell Thorn Whip up to 17th level as a cantrip.
What the
Okay.
shit?
Holy shit.
Okay.
Also, is anyone else not surprised at all that Swiss got the devil card?
I know, right?
Hey, no, I'm not.
Guys, everyone be nice to Tristan.
Tristan, have I told you today how much I love your bandages? They just...
Stop it!
very, very stylish.
The bandages blush.
Oh.
Oh my god.
And with that, Tristan, you begin to hear your other companions call up to you. It seems that you're coming now upon the landmass known as Yara.
I will make my way up to the deck. Do I wake up Basil? No. He's sleeping.
As you head up to the main deck, you look outward and now see a giant landmass in front of you. Just upon first look, twice the size of Rock of Brawl. You can see now that Jed has once again taken the helm as he maneuvers you closer to the head and face of Yara. The outstretched gods lies on her stomach, head looking forwards, mouth slightly open. It's odd to see in such a state a statue seemingly floating out in the middle of the void. As the ship continues onwards, you get closer and closer to the mouth. All right, y'all. We're getting pretty close. I'm going to ask this one more time. I think I already know the answer. Y'all want to go in the front this time, right?
Yes, please, Jed.
All right. Good choice. Good choice.
It's a respectful thing to do.
As he takes you closer and closer, you get about 100 yards out before the ship begins to slow to a stop. As Jed walks up to the front of the bow, the rest of you following in tow, you look out onto the face of Yara. You can see now that what looks to be a mining camp has been made up directly in the slightly gaped mouth.
Does it appear abandoned?
Rob, if you're
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah, I couldn't hear Rob.
your mic's
Oh.
off.
I'm whispering the description into V's ear while we're pulling up so she can kind of get a picture of what's going on.
Thank you very much, Scars.
Looking down, you can see a number of lights, a few plumes of smoke coming out, and a number of individuals walking around.
What's the play here? I mean, they were.
Does the ship seem to be
from
a-
the city?
Do these people seem to have noticed the ship heading their way yet? Because I'm sure if we can see them, they can see us.
Go ahead and make a, let's say, it's a little bit more direct this time. Give me an investigation check, Sicarius.
2.
2?
Too busy whispering, apparently.
Yeah. You really, from the distance that you're at right now, you can't really make out heads or tails of what the individuals closer to the mouth are.
So what is the plan here? We didn't even... we did it again. We said let's go and then didn't plan anything.
Well,
And
we
now
are
we're here.
planning now. It's okay. We will come up with plan now. What do we think?
I don't think we really have enough information to make a plan. Outside of what we see right now, there's people. That's why I was. Should we say that we're from the city? We're inspectors. We got to make sure everything's up to code, or
Can Jed pretend we are prisoners?
oh, it's not a bad
Or we can just say we are being sent here from the prince himself. We suspect he's behind us, right? Maybe we play our hand and see what happens.
would give some clarity as to whether or not the prince actually is in cahoots or not. We're not 100% sure after all. I mean,
No, we suspect.
Hmm.
Come
Tell you
from
what.
a position of authority.
Everybody except V, give me a perception check. Also, you do. There are 2 temptation dice right now, and I believe Grimoire, you should be rolling it with advantage.
if it's based on sound,
It's a skill check.
only if it's based on sound.
Oh,
Will I get advantage?
No. I'm saying you received inspiration earlier.
Oh, that's right. I did. Thank you.
If you're going to be a good player, I need to be a good DM.
Ah.
10.
8.
19.
0.
9.
Okay. Grimoire, as you look out upon the sight in front of you, trying to get a sense of how to best move forward, you happen to see, just on the top of the ridge of the lip, what looks to be a file of people that seem to be walking across the lip and moving up towards the nose. From what you can see, it's difficult to make out any features, but they all wear astounding, vibrant white robes.
Do you guys see that there?
No.
I'm not 100% certain. Oh, that's really funny, V. I'm glad you have a good sense of humor. But it looks like a milk mustache, only it's moving. There are people. There are people going into her nose.
Ugh.
They look different from the rest.
They're wearing like white robes.
So they are not minors. That would be an odd choice.
Oh, it's coming off a little more culty than that.
Ooh.
What if
Well-
we disguise ourselves like these people?
Oh, I think I can do that, actually. Hold on a minute. Hold on, everyone. Wait.
Well, aren't we in a place where we can just imagine things to kind of appear?
Yeah, but that's not always, 100%.
No, but it's worth a try. Or somebody can try their very darndest to describe to a T to V so she can get an idea.
Oh, that's true. I can't see, so.
I do have a little disguise kit here.
So then,
Oh, if I can.
What? What?
I've never really used it before.
You have a disguise kit, but you've never used it? Why not?
I haven't had a need for it in a long time, at least.
Long time, implying you have used it before.
Right. I mean, I might as well have not, though. Just because of the amount of time that has gone by since I've had to use it.
So you're starting from zero after the time that you don't
Well,
want to remember using it.
I don't know about that. I'm a natural at some things. You never know.
Alright, Grimoire.
What if you sit on my shoulders and then we go in disguise?
Be a very tall person.
yeah,
I think we might stand out a little bit if you do that.
Okay. What if you sit on somebody else's shoulders?
So what?
And then infiltrate.
I could stand on your shoulders.
He could be
Then
his
I could tell you where to go.
This sounds absolutely foolproof. Why not? It could be fun, right?
First, let me just make sure I don't fuck this up. I'm just gonna try to with this disguise kit makeup, and if he has to use ask Jed for some sailcloth or whatever to try to kind of make it work.
Okay. Using your disguise kit, you get a pretty good look of a white robe. It takes Jed but a moment to head back downstairs, at the same time awaking Basil, bringing him back up to the deck. And he also brings a number of white silk bed sheets. He plops it down in front of all of you. I mean, this is the best I can do for y'all.
I think that should be just fine. Thank you.
Just need to get through the door. That's all.
All right, y'all want me to? Y'all want me to point it in that direction?
I'm sorry.
The nose? Yes.
All right.
So we are sure we don't want to just try for Jed to say he has captured us, or no? We want to do
But
this?
if we show
Gotta
up
make
as we're
that decision
captured, then we
now.
have no. They're going to wonder why we have equipment.
I
with us.
suppose. I just think this relies on social skills of many people. No?
Me and V will take the front. We'll
Okay.
lead. That way we can, kind of
Wait a
get in
minute.
the way if anybody tries. What's wrong?
Sorry, I just
Having
want
second
to.
thoughts?
I'm just, so you're going to sit on my shoulders. Are we parading around as one human person or a
Right.
person?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be speaking. It's just you speaking.
Well, I figured actually, with my eyes and your good words, we kind of make a good little duo, right? I think you should actually do the speaking.
I guess she's implying that the
Um,
voice would be coming from your chest and not your
Correct.
mouth.
Correct.
Well, that's true. Do you know how to throw your voice? You got a lot of. you
Well,
got
now
lot
she's
of
a
interesting-
ventriloquist.
Well, she's a very impressive person. She has a bunch of skills that we've seen.
What if you're just like my friend or my assistant?
This is why you need to share more.
I need to share more. What? Are we on this again?
I mean, I don't want to bring it up right now. There's a big mission that we got going on, but I guess I could do the talking. I've been practicing at the market,
there's
right?
no
right,
reason she
Oksana?
can't talk, but you don't need to go as trying to present yourself as one being. Is all she's saying. I believe.
Well, I just think
Am I
that
correct?
I would kind of stand out if I were by
Small.
myself, a tiny little man.
But you're her assistant on her shoulder, letting her know she's blind.
Well, that just seems silly.
Yes, I think it is better if they present as one being. There is no way it could go wrong.
Absolutely.
Of course not.
Plus,
That
if
seems like a perfect foolproof plan.
I agree, and I think if a combat scenario were to present itself, think how surprised they would be to find out that we have more numbers than they thought we did.
Uh-huh.
So,
Very
so,
tricky.
so are we sure that the nose is the only point of entrance that we can access?
Well,
There's
that's
no
the point where the road
eye
people-
socket or
Well, that's
ears
gross.
or
It's all gross. I that's where all the robed people are going, so I figure
Okay.
it's probably our best bet.
so all the cultists that are going to kill all the slaves are going that way. So that's the way we should go.
I really hope that that's not what's going on, but yes.
Well, based on what we found in the other one, I'm going.
I'm
with
so
that
glad
story.
that I've been like snipping these cloth this entire time, and that this isn't wasted time at all because I do have to make these robes.
They're lovely. I'll take one.
We're assisting. We'll help you. Give you advantage on your rolls.
Please don't let me talk to anyone. I am concerned I will break these guys.
We can say that you're mute. That means I'm sorry. That means that you can't talk. If you'd like.
This is by far, out of all the games of D&D that we have played together on and off stream, this is the worst plan.
I don't know. We've had some pretty shitty plans, and this one isn't even that bad.
I don't even know why we planned.
We've got decent disguises.
We should put
Yes,
a robe,
I
a hood
will-
over our shoulder, and go.
I will say I
that's-
cannot
We're
speak.
using our strengths. I mean, it's all gonna go.
Absolutely
Okay.
fine. Yep.
Okay, so the plan is
To get it.
Grimoire will go on top of V's shoulders. They will be one person. Grimoire will do talking. I will go next. I will do no talking. Yes?
Sure, yeah.
Tristan, Sicarius, you will bring up rear, yes? And we will not go to rear, we will go through the nose, yes?
What do you want me to do, Oksana?
Oh, fuck.
You can.
Right,
if
Hazel, I
you
forgot
want,
you were here.
Shit.
you can go back to sleep if you want.
Miss all the fun? There's so many things to draw, though.
You can draw a beautiful picture of pork.
Oh, you said it.
Percent pork.
I'll just follow your guys' lead.
Okay, it's up to you. Let's go.
Okay. Jed begins to steer the ship towards the nose. The nose, surprisingly enough, while relatively close to the mouth, it's still quite a distance away, given the size of Yara. You continue forwards, coming closer and closer. Jed brings you just to the point of the curve in the upper lip. I think this is the closest we're going to get, guys.
think that's great.
Now, y'all want me to stay on the ship, or you want me there with you?
You're pretty close to this one. But one thing, we
how
don't
do you
want
feel you
anyone
would handle
take-
yourself in the presence of Marcus and Ajax if we do come across them right now?
Like I said, they got to go down. They got to go down. If we can talk our way out of this, it would be best. But it is what it is.
I know you're close to this one, but my vote is you come along. The more hands we have, the better.
And I
But I
assume
do not
you-
speak for everybody else.
Well, I got 2 hands, 1 mouth, couple ears, 2 eyes, 2 feet, couple swords.
Stop. You don't need to brag about that last one.
My apologies.
I'm only messing with you, Jed.
All right, and he throws a sheet over top of him. As
Be careful. He will be recognized. Change his face a little bit. Grimoire, come on. With your disguise kit.
Yeah, he has a sweet mustache.
actually, Jesus Christ!
Gives him a handlebar mustache.
All right, fair enough. A crudely drawn on handlebar mustache, more or less done with a marker. Fantastic. Grimoire, go ahead and give me a deception check for the group.
Oh,
No
can I
better.
assist?
Yeah.
Since I'm like, I'm letting Grimoire sit on me, and I'm
No, this is for the group, not just for you guys. But V, you do feel a little bit more confident now. For some reason, the plan
That's really weird.
sounds horrible, but it just might work. You've been granted inspiration, my friend.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna say this. Okay, it's gonna be a hard one to swing.
It's not bad, but we have inspiration. Or, what do you call them?
You have two temptation dice.
I'm going to use 1 temptation dice just to
Okay.
bump it up a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
Did we lose music?
Yep.
We did. That is a 17 for the deception.
17. Okay.
I hate that he's writing all
I know,
these
I know.
down. They are
Every
gonna come
single
back
time.
Yeah.
and bite us in the butt.
And he
What
then
if
when
it's
we say
what
that,
if
he
it's
smiles.
literally nothing and he just is writing it down to fuck? That would be the best.
Yeah.
As you find yourselves lifting off the deck proper, now taking to the skies once more, you begin to float towards the spot that Jed had picked. Giving each other a little bit of a nod, lining up, as Oksana said, you begin to move upwards towards the nose. As you come closer, you see a number of robed individuals standing directly at the septum of Yara. Jess, that's this little part right here.
You fucking dick.
There's one individual who seems to be standing at the front addressing all those in attendance as you continue to slowly make your way up, trying to be inconspicuous and joining the rest of the crowd. They seem to be holding a type of ritual. The individual stands tall and proud. My loyal brothers and sisters, once again we stand upon our most sacred of sites. For it was here that the great Yara breathed life into our people. And so we return here on our pilgrimage to give praise and thanks to the almighty Yara, in hopes that one day you will speak your words of creation once more. As a collective, the congregation now bows their head and in unison say, Achoo. The clergyman now waves his hand over the crowd.
You're ridiculous. Stop it.
God,
No!
Tight.
You're such a... Okay, I'm muting myself.
the clergyman waves his hand over top of the crowd and says out loud, God bless you.
No! No!
Gotta
Somebody...
love those Hitchhiker's Guide references.
As a few now seem to part and move away into segregation, some gathering in small groups. They begin to chat with one another. The individual at the front, you now get a good look at them. Strangely enough, they have no facial features. Just a solid face, almost like a mask over top. Completely translucent. You see what look like strands of substance that swirl around. From the back, you hear Jed. Oh man, plasmoids. All right.
What is that?
It's a type of people. They're kind of gross. I don't want to get into it right now. The leader of the group motions towards you all. I see a few new members to our flock. It's all right, friends. No harm will come to you here. Come forward.
Yay,
Look around and see if
verily.
there's anybody else.
A few of the plasmoids look around, but not a lot of them pay any mind to you whatsoever. It's all right, friends. We are a peaceful people here.
God bless you.
And to you as well. Tell me, travelers, do you come to join our faith?
Oh boy, we should do. This holiest of caverns of what must oneeth do to be permitted entry for the goodness of yes.
You speak wisely, tall one.
I can't do that. That would have to be.
You see, we are the guardians of the nostril. We go by the name of the Gesundheits.
Stop! No! Are we supposed to do anything seriously now?
I am known as the Great Sniffle, but you may all call me Sinatra.
Oh.
A pleasure to meet you, Sinatra. I am Snorter.
Snorter.
Leader of this band of wayward lost souls hoping to find purpose and guidance.
Well, as written in the sacred texts, you have come to the right place, for a nose knows.
Mm-hmm.
We are the guardians of said nostrils, sworn to keep evil and pollen out.
Fuck, are kidding me.
I'm actually kind of getting into this. If I'm being honest. Sounds pretty great. Allergies are the worst.
Yes, they are. So what is it that you come seeking today, wayward travelers? You are welcome to join our faith. Or is there something else that troubles you so?
I have received, upon sneezing, of course, a vision.
Yes.
There is great troubles afoot, or should I say a nose. And
Fuck you.
we have been chosen to act as a neti pot of sorts
No.
Yes.
to clear out the corruption that seeks to sully this holiest of places.
Yes. A vision has overcome them. My friends, Yara has spoken to these wayward travelers.
Holy fucking shit, that works. He just sort of like very, very quietly whispers to me.
But
Don't celebrate too soon.
we must show a sign of faith on your behalf to know that you are truly guided. Perhaps you are the ones to return our flock to us.
Such was the more detailed version of the vision, of course.
Of course, it all makes sense now. Then you are the ones to bring our people back from the charlatan that weakens the minds of others. Is this true?
Yes.
Give thanks and rejoice, brothers and sisters, for our prayers have been answered. No longer will our noses run from us, but run to us. For these outsiders have come to our prayers. They will find the way to return our flock to us from those of the north that steal and pollute their minds. The false prophet, known as the Highbrow, will no longer hold any claim over our people. We thank you. Once your holy quest is complete, you will be able to enter into the Holy Lands.
What's the quest?
But I ask of you this. If you do decide to take on the holiest of quests, I beg of you to disrobe yourselves in the presence. For there is no way that our involvement in bringing our people back can be put upon us. We blow our noses clean of this. For as says in the sacred text, you cannot pick your friend's nose.
The thing Now that is, we have been instructed to maintain our robes, for they will serve as the Kleenex to protect us from.
Raina, mute your damn mic, okay? Just mute your mic.
to protect us against the metaphorical bears in the cave.
Ah, yes. The handkerchief drapes over top of all of us, giving us protection. But before you may enter the nostrils, you must prove your faith. Be rid of the false prophet known as the Highbrow, and bring our people back to us.
Naturally. I obviously know what all of that means.
Yes.
But perhaps you're very good with words. Perhaps you could help me explain the importance to my friends whose faith is occasionally fleeting.
I understand as a leader myself. I will explain it to your sheep. Achu.
God bless you.
To our newcomers of the Gazoontites, your holiest of missions stands in front of you to pass through the great gates of Yara's nostrils. Your leader here has accepted the mighty quest to destroy the false prophet that has led our flock away. If you can win back the loyalty of our misguided brethren, you have proven yourself to be of worthy to enter. And we will know that you were sent from Yara herself, passing through the nostrils we will allow. You must go and travel northward to the upper Socket Ridge, where you will find the Highbrow and his followers, and bring them back to us.
We will restore your flock in these, the days of today. God bless you. God bless you all.
Jesus.
God bless you, travelers.
All right, now. I'm going to walk to the left.
I will continue to stand here.
Very good.
Yes.
We will walk to the left.
Let's get. Let's find this highbrow so we can get this over with.
Once we get far enough away that I know that I'm not being heard, I just blacked the fuck out what just happened.
You agreed to get rid of their rivals.
All right. Was that a good thing? Did that seem like that was probably good?
Well, I guess we'll find out when we get there.
It got us
Yeah.
in.
I wonder if the rivals are the same people we're after. That would be very convenient.
Would be very convenient.
Yes. Also,
Either way.
since V can't see and she's holding Grimoire on her shoulders, she is shuffling everywhere.
He has been telling you like straight Stop. Turn left. Go straight. Like he's directing.
Okay.
So this path to the north, is it quite obvious or is it kind of hidden?
I think we have to go up the nose, like the outside of it.
I mean, it's you can see a pathway that leads past the nostril and up the nose towards the north.
Let's go to the highbrow. This is
Make our way.
not what I was expecting, but who knows?
No.
This isn't the rousing game of D&D that you're looking for, Rob, or
Act like little mites crawling around somebody's face. All right. So
you
shall
all
we?
begin to make your way up the side, the passage to the side of the nose. And you continue to walk for roughly about an hour. Coming to the very peak of the nose, you see off in the distance a few plumes of smoke representing what you would assume would be campfire.
Can we make out any kind of uniform? Or even individuals at all? Or...
From as you come up the peak of the nose, or sorry, the middle of the nose here, it seems that there's a bit of brush that is in the way between you and where this campfire is coming from.
Bit of a unibrow.
Yeah. However, just over the ridge and the brush, you assume you see the campfires.
Well, should we take off the robes because it sounds like they are not friendly to each other?
That's sort of what I was thinking. Well, we should leave them here so we can
Yes.
collect them on the way back.
Why don't we just carry them in our bags?
Put them in our backpacks.
Yes.
That is also a good plan.
All right.
Put it in my
Teamwork makes
backpack.
the dream work. Do you want me to leash up again, or
Jesus Christ.
do you have a preference? I don't want to
I don't enjoy any of this very much. I think whatever you prefer. I can
Bottom
just
line
use my
is-
cane. I'll use my cane.
Okay, you can walk in the middle. That way you don't get off track.
Sure.
You guys are aware that this could just be a conflict between two factions that neither one is really good or bad. We're going to have to make a decision. And we may have to do things that are not necessarily good in order to gain access to this place.
Well, I don't know. These sneezing people seem nice. Let's see what these guys are all about.
And if they seem nice, then who do we do? What do we do?
Why
Maybe
don't we
can
just...
reason with them or something?
Yeah,
That
Okay.
being
why don't-
said, as confident as I was, maybe somebody else should take this one.
Well,
Any volunteers?
Well, now that we are not one person, I can speak. So,
let's see
Yeah,
what
that's
happens
great.
when we make ourselves known.
Maybe you can do like this whole blind seer thing. They'll really work with what you got.
thank you, Grimoire, for the suggestion.
Just, thought. All right.
Let's go.
As you begin to make your way through the brushes, pushing back hair after hair, you eventually come to a clearing just below the forehead. You see a large bonfire with a number of individuals seated around. One person standing directly in the center. They seem to stand on top of a makeshift box. Brothers and sisters, our time has finally come. For we have unfurrowed our brow,
Oh my god.
and now can see the truth. The Gesundheits to the south remain blind, waiting to exhale. while these foreign miners continue to plague our lands. Now is not a time to idly sit by. No. We must open our eyes wide, and with clenched fists, take them out. Are you with me? The crowd cheers from around him. He continues to give a certain pep talk to his people for a few short moments, before once again they cheer, and he steps down from his soapbox. He walks over to a makeshift table with a few refreshments on it.
Can they... Whoa. Sorry. Can they see... Can they see us? Or are we, like, still lurking in the cavern or whatever?
It is relatively dark. You guys are standing closer to the brush, roughly about 20 to 25 feet away from the large bonfire. There's a fair amount of people. From just a quick look, you can see roughly about 25 to 30 people gathered around. They seem to be conversing amongst themselves, not paying much mind to you at all.
Guys, which one do they want to take out? The Gesundheits or the miners? I am confused.
It almost
to
seemed
me-
like they were upset that the Gesundheits weren't paying attention and that they're mad about the miners being here.
I
So
would
do the
imagine they have a
miners-
common goal in getting rid of the miners.
So the miners do not belong to either of them.
No.
We are assuming the miners belong to Ajax.
I would assume that they were enslaved and put there, yes.
So maybe we can rally these two groups to help us. Free the miners, who we know don't actually want to be miners, right? And take whatever, if we can find God's blood or whatever is here, take it for ourselves.
Yes, this is good plan. Go talk to him, V.
All right.
That is,
Absolutely foolproof.
if they're anything like the last guys, it won't be that difficult. I mean,
Mhm.
bullshit most of the way. By the way, this poll is amazing. What's going on right now?
That's amazing.
Because we have the best mod in all of Twitch.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
All right,
let's
V
make
will.
ourselves known.
Yeah, V will walk over.
Is there a chance that they already have the god blood and they keep it as a sacred relic somewhere?
It's a great question. We should ask them.
But for now-
I do think it is. What? I do think it is a great question. We could ask if they know anything. But first, we try and say hello and what's wrong, you know, do a little bit of psychotherapy, a little bit. Try and unite the two factions, right?
That's like a good plan. Make sure you work in some like eyebrow puns and stuff. They seem to like that.
Oh my god, I'm not good. I'm not good at that. Fuck.
Do you need someone to walk you over there, or are you all good?
Fuck you, Tristan. I would love some assistance. Actually, I can't see where
Sure.
I'm going. Oh gosh.
So I will give my arm to V, and make sure I don't step on anything. But if she gets a bit dirty, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Sorry, just to clarify, you are making sure you stay clean, but
Yep.
you will walk me through mud, whatever is there, nose, spit, brain fluid, whatever, right?
Yeah, it seems we still have a problem, so I just want to make sure.
Oh my god, you're relentless. All right.
V, as you're walked over by Tristan to the leader of the Highbrows. He takes notice as you approach over. A few new faces here, I see. Are you having
Hello.
some problems, miss?
Yes, it seems I do have a problem, but I'm looking at it as a gift because I cannot see, but I see through my mind and my brow instead.
Yes, I understand. I was once blind myself. But once I raised my brow to the heavens, truly, I was able to see.
Yes.
Just get rid of them all.
This is ridiculous. Okay. My friends and I have come here in support of you and your friends, and we raise our brows at you, and we will look. Well, I guess if you won't look, but she'll turn around and motion like, "Come on."
We're squiggling. Greenmore's squiggling his brow.
And many blessings to you as well, my friends. I see you are aware of our customs. Tell me, are you from these lands?
We have traveled long and far to come unite with you today.
Ah. So, you are from the Buttcrackian clan.
Jesus Christ, Dave. Yes, but the brow has shown its way when we raised it, so we followed. We know that you're having strife with the other clans.
Sad to say that they don't see our same position. But Gesundheits rarely see.
Maybe the Gesundheits just need to raise their brows. And
I
maybe
feel their thoughts are too clogged for them to see, truly.
Well, I think what is interesting, since I have lost my sight and gained the power of the brow, I have seen that all the factions have something in common. And that is that everyone wants to get rid of these miners. Am I right?
You are astute in your thinking, albeit blind.
I am astute because I am blind, yet I have seen. I come here today with my friends to bring you a prophecy, a great prophecy, where all the factions unite together as one for just a day. And in that day, we release the miners together and achieve our goals and become one whole as a united body that we once were back in the past.
Make a persuasion check for me. I'll give you advantage on that one.
Things I never thought.
Oh,
I
you
would
get
be
advantage
fucking
anyway, I forgot.
saying.
Look,
I get advantage anyway?
we
Why?
have been practicing for this episode for so long because of all the puns on Talk Artif. So don't act like we weren't prepared for this shit already.
Okay. I rolled a nat 20.
That's right, you did. Fucking right, you did.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So wait, just persuasion, that's a 25 with the 20.
Okay.
Oh no.
His eyes grow wide once more. Could it be the legend that was foretold? Gather round, brethren.
Here we go.
A mighty occasion has fallen upon us, where we have trifled with the Gesundheits far too long, where we have been divided. A sign has appeared to us. Yes, it is true. The foretold one, the Sinus, will combine the two once more. Cheers
Parker?
break out amongst the entire crowd.
I can't.
We are at your beck and call, Sinus.
Oh, fuck.
Congratulations. You now have an army.
We have 2 armies. Well,
Grimmer does that, brother.
A friend will need to do some work to get them to agree to unite as one. What now? All right, my friends of the brow. Thank you for recognizing me as the Sinus to your brow and to this body that we all are in.
The Sinus
Rest
and
for a
her
moment.
entourage will lead us to greatness, to destroy the miners, and unite us once more with the Gesundheits.
Oh, no.
No?
My great vision
Oh.
in my mind and
Uh-huh.
in my brow and sinus and body tells me that we do not destroy the miners. Here is where I have found the miners do not want to be here. They are here not of their own will. So we release them and they will leave.
Hear this, my followers. The Sinus has traveled far and wide and far, from the lands of the Buttcrackians, once again to prove that they are worthy, and they do have our backs, sides. I devote myself to you, great Sinus. And he kneels before you, as do the rest of his companions, now kneeling down in front of you.
Okay, that's not going to help her in any shape or form.
No.
Hopefully she cannot see it.
Yeah, she sees none of this. She has no idea. She just hears silence. Thank you. Rest for a moment. I need to take a moment to have another vision come to me.
But of course, Madam Sinus. Madam Sinus, do you prefer Lady Sinus or Madam Sinus? What do you call yourself?
Lady Sinus is more than great.
Lady
Thank you.
Sinus requires a few moments, friends. She will speak to Yara once more.
He will, I guess, turn around and say, like, hey guys there?
You're doing a great job.
Okay. Okay. Well, we got these guys. That's good, right? So now, what about Grimoire's people?
Well, we head back down.
It sounds like there are other people as well. The butt krakens.
I'm sure they're going to take a while to get up here.
Took us an hour or so to get up here.
Yes.
That's like a week trip. That's a week trip. I think.
I mean, looking over the crowd, how many people are there that can we see, like, roughly?
Roughly, you're looking around, you see about 25 to 30 people.
No, 25, 30.
Also, we
Remember,
have a
all
slight...
we have to do is overpower the guards, not the miners. So with
Right.
these people here, this is roughly 20, 30. Go back down to the Nostro people. There's another 20 or so.
Yeah, they
We
don't
got
seem
numbers
like-
on our side.
Perhaps we can gather more armies from other body parts as we move to the mines, wherever they might be.
Also,
Maybe
welcome in,
some
Raiders.
along the way. Raiders. I think maybe
My only issue with that is, although that is a great plan, is that when the body is basically amassing many people, it'll draw attention. Right now, we
It's
still have
already-
the element of surprise.
But
I
we
would-
also have many numbers.
I personally would prefer not to put these people in danger. I know that we're kind of like snickering a bit, but in all honesty,
Well, this is their
they,
home.
they'll
should be
probably
able to
think
fight
our
for it.
beliefs are a little strange. You know, who are we to say that there's not? I think maybe we just we go down there. I admit that to some things, I say that the prophecy needed me to basically lie to them because they wouldn't accept. This isn't sounding good.
No, but no.
No,
this
if you-
does not
if you-
sound good.
If you allow yourself to tell them that you lied, then all hopes may be broken.
Also, if they are not fighting the miners or helping us to free the miners, then they are just fighting each other, it seems.
Exactly.
What is the difference?
Focus them
At
on the
least this
actual
way.
problem.
They are united. It has good purpose. We will free the miners and kill Ajax.
And let's be fair, Lady Signers can only make the bridge between the nostril and the eyebrows, not the other body parts.
That is true.
That
We
is
also
true.
we have the issue. Also, Grimoire, since you seem to be the leader of the the nose people,
Gesundheit.
the Gesundheits. If we are in the same place at the same time, how will you be on my shoulders?
We together
Mhm.
would make up the sinus. We are two parts of one whole.
Oh my god, this is too ridiculous that we played this before.
And we represent the two great factions
Yes.
and are their hope.
See,
And I
this is
should
you-
write
you
this
can-
down.
Yes,
Yes.
tell them. This is why I could not reveal myself to you before.
Exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
saying when I said to tell the truth. I didn't mean really the truth.
So we
Mhm.
reveal ourselves. We open the cloak and say, haha, it is Lady Sinus, actually.
And you come with peace from the highbrows.
Because the highbrows will come with us. They show that they're there to help. We unite. We go through the back door. Not the back door, but the entrance to get into the mining cave.
Talking about the boat again.
No, we're
Highbrows.
not going through there again.
The
We may come
highbrows
out that way,
can't-
but
They can't come with us yet.
Why not?
Because the Gesundheits will attack immediately.
not necessarily. If we're walking in front of them wearing the robes, they won't attack.
I don't
They would have no
understand.
reason to.
Why don't we just go down, put the robes back on, go into the Gesundheits and do the whole thing with the robes? Yes?
We could tell these guys to follow suit a little bit later after we leave. Say, hey, prepare yourselves. Meet us at the nose.
I don't know. If we show up and then they show up behind us, it may look suspicious.
Yeah, tell them to meet us on the bridge. Yes?
You know
the
what? That's
bridge.
actually a really
Damn
good
it.
idea.
I didn't think
In
of
the
that.
Sinus.
Because we would be bridging,
Yes.
but this relationship is very symbolic. I
This
like
is all
that. That was
very
really
poetic.
good.
This
Very
is
poetic.
Really good, Oksana. Those are
Oh,
one of your better
thank you.
ones.
Thank you.
All right.
There you go. Tell them where
Oksana-
to meet us while we go get the others.
Oksana gains DM inspiration on that one.
Oh boy.
I will turn to Basil and I will say, do you have enough page in your book for all the stories that happen here today? Because I see you writing a lot.
Well, it's pretty
God,
hard to follow sometimes. We got the Gazoon Tights, the Butt Crackians, we have the Highbrows. I wonder what else we can find on this strange, strange landscape.
I just can't wait to see your next attack.
It's going to be a good one.
All right. I will tell them to. All
Sorry.
right. Okay. V will turn around and say, "My highbrows." I must.
That way. I'll turn her a bit towards the
We must take a leave from you for a moment. We will relieve any sinus pressure that you are feeling and clear the cavern. In that time, close your eyes and then open them and then meet us at the bridge. We have great plans for you to unite you with the Gesundheits and the other factions, hopefully.
You are wise, Lady Sinus.
We will raise her eyebrows.
Yes. As the Sinus, you have infected our minds and souls in the best of ways. We will follow your leads. But when should we come? Will you give us a sign? Us.
I don't. I will call to you. Are the caverns echoey?
Ow.
We will
Yes, I
await.
will call to you. I
We-
will yell very loud.
We will do our best to hear.
Jesus Christ.
How long did it take us to walk up?
About an hour.
Like an hour.
Okay, maybe they should just come with us.
Yeah.
Oh, 30 minutes. Need us at the bridge.
Give them a time and tell them to leave.
All right, wait.
Or an
Okay.
hour and 30 minutes from now. would be the time.
A vision has come to me.
Yes.
Instead,
Quiet down, folks. A vision has graced Lady Sinus once more. Tell us.
Calm yourself. For 30 minutes. After we
An
have
hour and
left.
30 minutes.
What? Why? We're gonna
We
leave
gotta walk
now.
all the way back down.
Thanks.
That's an hour. 30 minutes up to the bridge.
Yeah, but then they'll follow us. They'll be
They'll
30
be
minutes
there though when we
behind
get
us.
back
Get back? What are you talking about?
to the bridge.
Oh.
Or the bridge.
You do know that the bridge of the nose is on the outside of the face and not inside the nose.
Yeah, but you get,
I kept literally arguing about nose anatomy now.
Sorry.
High quality D&D you can find on this channel, folks.
This is
Nothing
just semantics
better.
and it's
If
stupid. I'm
you were
sorry.
looking for some high quality, lore heavy D&D, let me tell you, you came to the right spot.
What if you just tell them to wait at one end of the bridge, and then we will send signal. Yes, we will wave white
All
road.
right.
Yes, yes.
Fucking fine.
Okay.
A new vision! Meet us at one end of the bridge, and we will raise our eyebrows to you as a sign to know it is the time to unite.
If they are across bridge, they cannot see eyebrows.
Holy
Right on,
fuck!
Tata,
I will
don't get the
also
idea.
say, I I will also say out loud, raise your brows, and together
There
we
we go.
shall be a sinus together.
Unite the brows. Photo unibrow.
My friends, Lady Sinus has told us of her visions, for she sees clearer than any brow can be raised. We will await your commands, Lady Sinus, where we will reunite once more with the Gesundheits and find our way to freedom! The crowd yells out in front of you, to freedom! To freedom! To freedom!
To freedom.
Highbrow holds out his hands. We will meet you on the bridge once more, Lady Sinus. Once more.
I look forward to meeting you again.
He looks at his hand and slowly puts. Oh, right, yeah. Oh. Godspeed.
Godspeed.
And God bless.
You're already thinking like a Gesundheit. I'm proud of you. People start to turn away and exit this conversation.
And as the heroes begin to make their perilous journey back down to the Gesundheits, the question remains, will Lady Sinus be able to bridge the factions once more? Will the miners be overtaken? And at what point in time will I bring the Butt-Crackians in? All this and more awaits you on the next episode of Careful Cantrip.
Whoop, whoop.
So Rob, you still like playing D&D with us, or you having a good time?
I'm having a blast. Just want to blow this whole place up.
Something tells me Ixana is gonna get along with the Butt-Crackians.
I feel like you would. I feel like you're the lord of the Butt-Crackians.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how deep this goes.
Oh no!
Wipe yourself of your trouble.
No longer will the Butt-Crackians speak out of their ass.
Oh my
Anyway,
god!
guys. Anyway, enough shenanigans. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We had an absolute blast. Sorry about that we weren't around last week. To all the bits, the donations, the subs, everything along those lines, we thank you wholeheartedly for all of the support. To the raiders that joined us a little while ago, apologies. We were in a very, very serious conversation, as you could tell. But with that said, I think that's where we wrap up for the evening. Bobby, buy me some time so I can find us someone to raid.
Hey guys, Bobby here from Careful Cantrip. Do you feel like Careful Cantrip could be more shinier, new, maybe? Careful Cantrip Platinum. It's on its way. And let me tell you, there is both content and things that are not content. Wow. You're not even doing anything. You're just letting me go. Even though you're ready.
At this point, I
Clearly
just
ready
want
to go.
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'll hit the button right now. We're going to go
Hit the damn
raid
button.
over to our friend over at the Playmat. He's celebrating his 2-year stream anniversary. Once you get over there, do me a favor, drop some hashtag CC Love Raid in chat and give him a follow because he's a super awesome dude, super awesome DM. So can someone put hashtag CC Love Raid in the thing so people can see? So they can copy and paste it just in case. I know everybody here pretty much is a subscriber thanks to Rowdy, so use the Alara emotes as well. It'd be fantastic. Crimson's got it. Thank you so much. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining us for the evening. Stick around for the raid. It helps so much for both ourselves and the playmat, and it would be very, very much appreciated if you stuck around for it. But with that said, that's all we have for the evening. But before I leave you, I urge you all one word of caution. With a dark prince trying to overcome his rule, or trying to mend the gaps of the cults sitting on the face of a god. I beg of you all, this one word of caution. Be careful out there. You can trip. Guys, we'll see y'all in the next one. Love all your faces. Take care.
Bye.
That's your brands.